Hey guys, it's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We're back into the emergency storage shed. We are up to episode 78, and I have a request from Jeff, which you might all find interesting. But first, have a look behind me. Look at all that space. Yes, 77 weeks in a row, and we've made a lot of room in this shed. Now, Jeff's request was to stand on the outside of the shed and indicate how far down we've got, because all you're looking at here is a wall of boxes and shelving, and I keep saying it goes back a fair way. I think I've said 25 feet, maybe 20 feet. I'm standing just inside the door now, and if you go back to episode 1, there was a narrow walkway just in here to get into the main shed, and this side where my hand is was a wall of boxes. So we've made good progress. This steel shelving unit here I've actually repacked with stuff that I'm getting organised with, so that's been done. However, that one behind it hasn't. We've been working on this middle shelf here, and we've been doing a lot of electronic stuff, old computers, monitors, TVs and things on this shelf, and there's a couple of boxes I've placed back there, and I mentioned that all-in-one computer that I'm going to set up in my shed. So we're working down that wall. We haven't touched the top of that yet, but we have done this section, and I'm just using this spot to put a few things that I'm going to keep, including where I sort some of my scrap metal. So I'm not leaving a totally empty shed in my wake, but I'm using the space as I can to sort out stuff because there's no room in my main shed. Now, Jeff's request, let's get back to that. He wanted to know how far we'd got. So I've got a piece of dowel here, and I thought if we, it's a bit hard to ascertain how far we've got because we haven't done that shelf at all where that radio is. We've done the middle one. The furthest we can get is right down here to this steel shelf unit, well, the side of it where there's a welder and toolboxes and another computer monitor down the bottom. So if we poke the stick maybe up between that little shelf unit and that green steel drawer, and I reckon we can jam it out through the eaves. I think that will be enough to see it from the outside. Okay, let's go outside and have a look. All right, here's the roof line from the outside, and you can see that the shed does go back a fair way. And if we pan along the rafters here, there's the stick there. Can we see that? It's poking out there. So I'm going to stand parallel with that, or at right angles to the shed. So we've gone from the front door to there, and I reckon we're probably a bit past a third, not quite halfway down the shed. I might hang something on the end of that so we can see it clearly, and I'll step back. So there we go, we have a paper towel flag, and it gives a good indication, let's go down to the back, of the fact that we are making progress, but we still have quite a long way to go. I'll duck around behind this tree. So there we go. Now the good thing is that we get lots more content out of this series. We're up to episode 78, I think I said. So it's 78 weeks in a row. There's the back wall of the shop. You can see it's pretty well packed. All those boxes, of course, have now faded in the sun, and it's going to be quite some time before we get to those. So 78 weeks, it looks like this episode is going to go well into triple figures. In fact, probably 200s. I don't know. It depends what we find. There will be some things that will be quicker and make a lot of space. For example, the CRT TVs have really opened up one of those shelves. But there's also some things that will slow us down, like, boxes of cool small stuff and tools and everything. So there we go, Jeff. Hope that gives you some indication. That, remember, was the furthest we got into the shed. There were still shelves that we weren't quite that far in. So where does that leave us with this week's episode? Well, I would like to get these two frames out of the middle of the shed, and to give us a break from electronic stuff, let's get that yellow crate of old tools out there. And next week's episode, we'll probably look at that box of jars. I don't know what's in them. I'm suspecting it's just bits of hardware for the shop or stuff I wanted to keep. There's a army box down the bottom, probably old tools. I'm not sure what's in that blue bucket. Looks like angle brackets, bits of metal, could be random things, could be just scrap. So we'll do the yellow crate today. We'll sort out some of those tools. We'll see what value we've got there. We'll see what we're going to keep. And once we then empty the bottom section, the middle section's pretty well right. There's an orange gas bottle there. Oh, there is a box at the back there. And then we do have to clean the top off. There's some random tubs up there as well to sort out, and a milk crate. Don't know what's in that. Total mystery. Let's get that yellow crate onto the bench. Okay, I'll admit I have been ignoring this yellow crate because I knew it'd be heavy, and I need to do something about my walkway and all this clutter because I have to get some lawnmowers in on the bench. We've got to do some more small engine videos, and I've got no hope of getting a mower in here at the moment. So we will be doing a bit more organising to be more productive and to get more stuff onto this bench. There's a fair bit of weight in there. I don't know if it's much value. There's some pretty old spanners. Let's have a look. Okay, you can see why it's heavy. Here we have a breaker bar for a 3/4 inch socket set. So that's a decent lump of metal. It's a bit, well, it's pretty rusty. Looks like it's slightly bent. And I don't actually have a 3/4 inch socket set. So we can probably just brush this off, put it in the shop for, I don't know, $10 maybe. We might struggle to get that. Well, I think we would. The right person would buy that for 10. We have a tin here full of Allen keys, various sets, and I think I've got more of this set somewhere. So we'll sort that out, work out what we're going to keep. The rest of them I'll just bulk up and sell through the shop cheaply. Another tub here with an adapter from a round trailer plug to the rectangle one. They sell okay. I don't think I need one of those. Some various spanners, a drill bit, a file handle, a little shifter. They sell okay. I don't think I need any of those spanners, so we'll probably clean those up and sell them. What's in this one? Drill bits, I would presume. Yep, the remains of a drill bit set. Not many left in there. Probably sell those. Another little shifter, that looks like a nice one. That's a Sid Chrome one. It's lost most of its chrome finish, but it'll be a good quality one. It's a bit tight, but it's not seized up. Some random small sockets. A feeler gauge set. That's a copper pipe flaring tool, but I think I jammed a razor blade in that to use it as a wire stripper, and it's a good way of stripping copper wire for the bigger gauge ones. You just jam a little blade in between the two halves on the right size for the wire, and you drag it through, and it slices down one side of the insulation, so that works okay. I don't think I'll need that. There's some little bits. Yep, okay, just random stuff that needs sorting out. Here we have some coping saw blades, a cold chisel, some triangle files, plenty of spare blades. Probably keep some of those. There's a pair of pliers, probably were good quality ones. Oh, they still move okay. Bit rusty. Small spirit level, that will sell. More cold chisels. Oh, and I was looking for some of these. A tub full of chuck keys for a drill. Now, I had a guy call in the shop the other day after a certain size. I usually put these in the shop at $1 each, and they sell. That's fine. I don't need any here, I don't think, but I was looking for a customer that asked me, so I'll take those to the shop. Some bigger tools here. We have a hacksaw, big screwdriver, very long drill bit, a ball peen hammer with a steel handle, screwdriver, some good tin snips, a good wire brush, some Stilsons or Work Zone. So they're an Aldi brand. They're not really Stilsons. They're adjustable pipe pliers, I call them. I guess you'd call them, or a pipe wrench. We'll just sell those ones. A nice long wood auger drill bit. Now this is probably a good one to keep, particularly when you do a bit of, particularly when you do a bit of landscaping, because they're deeper, or they're long enough to go through a sleeper or a decent piece of timber in the garden. You can put a normal drill on it. It hasn't got the square end. So when you're bolting together large pieces of timber for landscaping, they're quite handy. I might keep that one here. We have some shears that feel pretty good. Bit rusty though. A large ring open ender, I think that was one of my original toolkits. What's in this one? More drill bits, plenty of drill bits. I'll probably just be selling some of these in group lots. I've got more than enough drill bits here. Always get plenty of files, wood rasps, screwdrivers. I usually sell the screwdrivers just through the shop at $1 each. And what's under here? Oh, that's some pretty cool shears. They'd be decent quality, I would imagine. Another long drill bit. Yeah, wood auger, I guess you'd call it. Coal chisels. Vice grips or locking pliers. And there's some small Stilsons. Looks like they're probably English made. So we're just random tools here, don't we? An old stretchy strap. It's probably not much good anymore. There's a crank handle off I'd suggest that's off a kitchen meat mincer. And then we have a tub here full of spanners. Some quite older spanners here. USA made. Some of them will be English. That one's been custom bent for a particular job. Some more nice long needle nose vice grips. They'll be handy. I'll keep those here. Lots of punches. Just random stuff. It was probably out of... Oh, there's some small cable ties. They're a good size. I'll use those. And screwdrivers. Pretty random, isn't it? Mostly tools. Little brass wire brush. There's another good small shifter, a Davidat or Davidat. I think you pronounce it with a V. That feels okay. Some little snippers. Oh no, they're wire strippers. And a thread gauge. Looks like a thread gauge. So there we go. Lots and lots of stuff. I won't bore you with cleaning it all up or anything. I'll just basically sort it all. We'll come back to you shortly with a bit of a price list. I'll point out what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to sell. It's the next day, guys, and amongst other things today, I've sorted out all this tub full of stuff, and I've got them arranged sort of in what I want to keep and what I'm going to sell. I'll run through them quickly. I might put the camera in the tripod, and the stuff at the front I'll go through quickly. I'll put into a box here because I will be keeping that, and I'll explain why. And then we'll go through the rest of it, and we'll get some prices down, work out exactly how much value we've actually got out of this crate from what I'm going to sell. Okay, let's work along here. I'm going to keep the hacksaw because every scrapper needs plenty of hacksaws around, and I explained that I'll be keeping these two wood augers, so that's fine. The tin snips are a Wiss brand, very good quality, really good shears, and they're nice and sharp, so they will be certainly handy in the workshop. I'm keeping a lot of this crate because, well, basically this crate lot of tools came out of my workshop, so a lot of these were my tools from many years ago. I'm being kind of reasonably conservative in what I'm keeping, and some stuff I will update down the track. Some really good coal chisels here, good sharp ends on them. They haven't been abused. That one's branded SCM. I don't know what company that is, but it's a good solid coal chisel. This one's a nice one, good sharp edge on it too, as is the orange one. So they'll be handy. I don't use the coal chisel a lot, but every now and again you do need one. File handle, well, I've got a big file that needs that. I'm keeping these vice grip pliers because, and that's a genuine vice grip one too. I'm not sure, this one's probably a cheaper one, but they are awfully handy in the workshop. And also the cheaper ones are actually quite handy, and most of you will probably admit of using them as a welding clamp, and eventually they get splatter all over them. But so that's why I'm keeping those two. Another little coal chisel. These screwdrivers, I buffed them up on the wire wheel. They come out really well. This one here is branded Turner, which is an Australian made one. Really nice end on it. This one actually has been reshaped a bit, but there's still very good quality steel. This one's a ripper. They've got timber handles. Now this one is a Davidat or a Davidat, or I can't say it. Someone said you're supposed to say it with a V, but every time I say it with a V, I put an A instead of an O. So I don't know. you know what I mean. I think this is a German-made one. It's got a number 7 on the blade. Really nice steel, nice fine end, and it's undamaged. So they'll be handy screwdrivers. Likewise, I tend to keep the Stanley ones, the Australian-made Stanley ones. And this one's another Turner. So they've all got good ends on them, much better quality than cheaper modern-day screwdrivers. The wood chisel, it's branded Sandvik, I think, which is a Swedish brand. Does need a bit of a sharpen up, but it's quite a nice blade, so I'll keep that one. Cable ties, there's a range of punches and another little cold chisel here. These are all Kingcraft ones. They are out of my original set, and I don't think those ones ever got used. There's a Sidchrome, Australian-made Sidchrome half moon spanner, I think they call that, 9/16 and 1/2 inch. So that will go with my Australian Sidchrome spanners. Another one there, and another one there. The drill bits I sorted out for sale, but I pulled out 3 that I'm keeping. Actually, I think there was 4. There was one tiny one somewhere. Don't know where it's gone. But they were Sutton brand, and they're unused. So even though a little rusty, really good drill bits. There was 2 of these. These are copper pipe flaring clamps. I don't have the punch to suit them, but it could well be in another box somewhere. And they range from tiny ones, which would use for fuel line for small engines or something, right up to water pipe fittings. So I'll hang on to those ones. A flexible 1/4 inch socket drive. You don't see these. Oh, there's that little drill bit. It must be magnetised. You don't see these all the time, and it's really handy to have a flexible drive. So that will go with my sockets. A little wire wheel, which will probably work well on my Dremel. I used these just this afternoon in the garden. They're very good shears. This was a feeler gauge set. This is my original one when I had my small engine workshop, and that's in thou, so that's an Imperial one. A little bit rusty, but still quite usable. This little 6-inch shifter I'm keeping, it's a Sidchrome, but it's a Swedish-made Sidchrome. Really nice and firm in the jaws, and it operates beautifully and smoothly. I did give it a little bit of spray, and they sell for about $30 each on eBay plus postage. So I'm hanging on to that one, even though it's not Australian-made Sidchrome. A couple of wire brushes. The box with some small triangle files. There's some jigsaw blades and some coping saw blades, so I'll hang on to those. The only other thing I was going to keep was the thread gauge. This one's a metric thread gauge. And for those who don't know what a thread gauge is, it's for working out what size thread your bolt might be. So that will be an Imperial thread size, and it closest is 1.5 mil here, which I think is the distance from the peak of one of the threads to the peak of the next one. But it doesn't quite fit. You can see, I think you can see there, it just rocks a little bit from side to side, and it doesn't fit in neatly. Handy to have a thread gauge when you're trying to work out what thread a certain bolt is. So that's what I'm going to keep there. I'll pack these away, we'll spread the rest out, and we'll get the price list out. Okay, let's go through the stuff I'm selling. I didn't forget to mention though, these large spanners cleaned up quite well. I'll hang on to them for now. These are out of my original kit. That's what the A stand is there for. I may sell them down the track, but at this stage I'll hang on to those because I don't have too many big spanners in good condition. Right, the stuff we're selling. Well, we said we'd go about $1 each on these drill chuck keys. So I don't know how many is in there, but let's just say $5 to be conservative. The work zone adjustable pliers or pipe wrench. I don't know. I think that would have been pretty cheap being an Aldi brand. We might just go, say $15 on those. I reckon we'll try 10 on our big 3/4 inch breaker bar. We'll go 5 on our little cast aluminium spirit level. These shears I think are worth 10. I didn't see a brand on them, but they seem to work really well. So we'll try 10 on those. We'll get 10 for the trailer adapter. The English-made Stilsons, someone's put a fair bit of effort into them because I think they're bent on the handle. But otherwise they're in good nick. The jaws are okay. We'll go $10 on those. The pliers, these are Toyota pliers. They would have been out of an original car toolkit, probably in the 70s or 80s. Maybe 70s, I think. We might get $5 for those. They're in pretty good nick. They're a slip jaw type one, so that you can open them up to a bigger size. Bit of plating loss, but we'll just go 5 on those. We'll probably go 10 on the big hammer with the steel handle. It's got a rubberized type coating on it. It actually feels really good to swing. I've got enough hammers around here. I think we'll try 10 on that one. Good hefty one. There's a really long drill bit here, and it's a masonry bit. It's got little tungsten tipped ends on it. A nice long one. I think if you went to buy one of these new, they'd be very expensive. I'm just going to put $5 on that. A little USA made spanner here, which is in metric, 18mm and 15mm, double open ender, forged steel USA. Oh, it's got imperial sizes that side. I don't think they're a direct comparison, but close, I guess. We'll just go $5 on that. The handle I thought was off a meat mincer. I'm not sure because I don't think I've ever seen a set screw on a meat mincer handle. I've seen them with the hexagon type shape, but they usually just have a nut that goes on the back of them, and they go on a bit of a taper. So if you know what that's off, let me know in the comments. I don't think it's a meat mincer now. I'm going to put it in the shop for $5 just because. Now the drill bits, I sorted through them and I cleaned out this little storage thing, and I just fitted all the runs the right size in the holes. They're all pretty good and sharp, but they're various brands and some of them are a bit rusty. So they're not all P&N drill bits, but I think we'll just put $10 on that set. Should sell okay. And the rest of them I've put in this tin over here, and there's some pretty good ones in there actually, and there's a spade bit for woodwork, and there's a few masonry ones in there as well. I might put $10 on that set as well. And there were two brand new ones that are masonry bits, and they're Sutton brand, so pretty good brand. That one looks a bit rusty in the packet, but it will be unused. So we'll just go $5 a pair on those. A cheaper shifter here, and you can really pick the cheap little shifters because of the amount of slop they've got in the jaw. It's unbranded, just says drop forged. We'll put $5 on that. And this other one is a better quality. It's Australian made Davy Dat, and I think we'll put 10 on that, but it has got a bit of slop in the jaw. Certainly not as good as the Sid Chrome. These little things are wire strippers. They're English made. They're Vitrex or Vitrex. I think they were fairly expensive, and these look pretty well unused, but I can't see myself getting much more than $5 for those. I did see quite a few on eBay for anything up to $50 or $60, but nothing sold. So I think we'll just put 5 on those. Let's pan the camera around and see what else we've got. Okay, at this end of the table, we've just got a bit of hardware, just go in the jars here, a little bit of rubbish, and all this stuff, all these spanners, and all this other stuff, I'm just going to put in my $1 box at the shop. A lot of spanners are cheaper brands or quite rusty. There's one or two Sid Chrome ones in there, but they're a bit butchered. And all these ones that have been custom bent for something. So just going to go $1 each on all those. A chainsaw tool. The pliers were okay, but the cutters are totally chipped, really in poor condition. So just $1. And the files aren't anything flash. There's another cold chisel that's been well used. The scraper. There's some side cutters here that are seized up. They do, yeah, they do move, but the blade's not very good. So $1 for those. The scissors, well, I might even keep those here. Oh, they're cracked across the end. All right, they're probably not much good. And the bulk lots, well, I put all the little sockets and everything in a tub here with a few other bits and pieces. There's some larger sockets, and I think I'll just go, that one's been modified for something. I might just go $5 the lot. There's those bits though, that's a complete set there. And then a couple of universal joint ones in here. But still, I don't want these hanging around for long, and some of them are quite rusty, so $5 a lot there. All the Allen keys, there's numerous sets. I pulled out one or two that suited a set I had here that I was missing some on, but the rest of them, I think we'll just do $5 a lot, move them on quickly. And the screwdrivers, well, they're just going to go in the $1 box at the shop as well. So there we go, that accounts for everything we've been through. Let's get the notepad. And this part never ceases to amaze me, especially with a box of tools, remembering that I kept pretty much all the best stuff. I've priced out everything there exactly as I've just been through, and we've got a total of $180. Now, all the $1 stuff, there's over 60 items. I just said, let's say $30 a lot, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to clear that. People do buy spanners. When they're only $1 each, people grab them. Files are very expensive to buy new. That tub of Allen keys, well, I just said $5, it'll go straight away. But yeah, out of the 60 odd $1 tools, we're easily going to clear 30. So there's a chance we'll make over $200. I'm going to write down 180 on our total for the emergency storage shed. and I still got to keep all the best stuff pretty much out of this crate. And it was actually kind of nice to bring back some of the old tools from my past. Those of you who don't know, I actually, for 10 years, I had my own small engine repair business. I actually had 2 shops in 2 separate towns at one stage with a couple of guys working for me. And that's probably the last time in my life I had a really good workshop set up, and we're going back probably nearly 30 years. So it's going to be nice to get this shed all set up nice, but it brought back some good memories pulling out some of my old tools. Got a bit rusty, which is a bit disappointing, but you know, they've been carted around with me and left in unfavourable conditions, and that's what happens. But we're getting set up in this shed. I plan to be here for the rest of my life. Hopefully that's a long time. Hopefully you guys hang around for a long time too. Thanks for watching. Our total is up to about $12,300 out of that shed so far. So we'll do another video soon. Catch you then. Bye for now.